201. Hello, hashtag VersTEAv200 family, and welcome to 201. I'm Aaron Mack. I'm here with my good friend Kevin, aka CBC Basic Complexity, and Kevin will actually take the reins to bring us to the number one today. Kevin, what makes the number one special?
All right, so the number one to me anyway is special because um one, I'm definitely my parents' first child and only boy. Not to mention the fact that I graduated high school in 2001.
So, for my new song this week, my new song is none other than 2019's song by Taylor Swift called I Forgot That You Existed. And I love that song. And I love it when she says, it isn't love, it isn't hate, it's just indifference. And I'm like, yes, Taylor Swift. And I think about some of the guys in my past who, after a certain point, people giving you that sub sexy or hey big head, it's like, okay, they're just doing that because they're bored. And it's like, it's not because they want to grow something with you as you might have once before. But like Taylor Swift saying, she said, I thought it would kill me, but it didn't. It yes, you know. I wanted us to be a thing very much. And you just had other things in mind. Okay, fine. And we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later in the show. But basic complexity, what's your oldish song?
Alright, so wow, older song. And I'm pretty sure some of you might remember this. The young ones, you might not. Um, but the older song I have is actually called Tomorrow by Tevin Campbell. And the song was on the 1989 album Back on the Block by Quincy Jones and was vocally very good for then 11 or 12-year-old when the song was initially recorded. Yeah, by Little Tevin. Um, and the all right, yeah, not many people, in general, could actually match the then kid's vocal ability. Um, and even today, in his 40s, um, the man could still sing that song, and that's I'm impressed. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, and like I was saying, in his 40s now, and the man could still sing several now, but several people under the table.
Mhm.
Um, and in my personal opinion, um, is he is still fine. Um, with that little touch gray. Um, my slight crush back in the day. And hey, so he's a few years older than me, but I think he still look good. Just my opinion.
Well, that's
And
my
that
opinion too, my friend.
oh
Uh,
nah,
yes.
I was gonna say this, but
Excellent. Completely agree. And I just wanted to go back to the let me say this. You know, it's interesting when you called him Little Tevin. I'm like, I'm kind
then
of,
little Tevin when he
huh?
was a kid.
No, no, no. I know what you mean. I'm just saying I love all of our classic artists who um prefixed their name with like Lil back in the day, like back in like in our
Okay.
parents' generation, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's actually kind of quite acceptable that they held their peace with Tevin Campbell and didn't have to have him go through a phase of Little Tevin, you know.
Right.
But and that was my first time thinking about that because you said that. But anyway, that's cool. Anyway, nothing but love and respect to everyone who's come before, all of the trailblazers.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you very
course.
much.
Of
Little Richard,
course.
Little Stevie, today known as Stevie Wonder, you know. Anyway,
Oh.
but yes. I also wanted to say, as far as Taylor Swift's 2019 song, I Forgot That You Existed, I forgot to, speaking of forgetting, I forgot to name that was from her Lover album, which is actually a really good album. I am a Taylor Swift fan, you guys. I was talking to one of the guys at the gym a few days ago, and he was like, "Yeah, I like this new song by Taylor Swift, but I wouldn't call myself a Taylor Swift fan." And I'm like, "What in the world do you mean? But like, why do people have to be like, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan?" I just, it's like, pump the brakes. Anyway, all right. So the topics for the week. Are you ready, Basic Complexity, for the topics for the week?
Yeah.
Hashtag fabulous old. Hashtag GoFlow. Hashtag FalsasEsperanzas, aka false hope. Hashtag CriticalReality. And now, are you ready to get this show on the road, Basic Complexity? Kevin.
Yep.
Hashtag fabulous old at Beyond the Tats. Hashtag VersTEAv200
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sally O'Malley. I'm proud to say that I'm 50 years old. I'm not one of those gals who's afraid to tell her real age, and I like to kick, stretch, and kick. I'm 50. 50 years old. 50 years old. 50,
Yeah.
50,
Okay,
50.
all right. On screen text. Just turned 40. And who's with me?
Am I getting old? Absolutely. Am I going to start acting my age? No. No, why would you do that? Why? The world sucks enough. Continue to be a shit show. A fabulous shit show.
All right. So, my initial reaction was, yay, he's a fellow 1983 baby. Whoop, whoop. All right. Yes, he is, because he's turning 40, as are the rest of us fellow 1983 babies this year. And I even sang on my personal YouTube page, going back to Sally O'Malley, being 50, and on my personal YouTube page, I did a song called "50 Ain't Old No Mo," because 50 is not old anymore. It's not. And it's funny because I'm not doing anything with my timer. I'm just rambling, just chatting. But here's the timer. Okay. There we go. All right. Because 50 is not old anymore. Now, yeah, and also there was a time that I was like, oh, 50 is like way too old. That's my max. And I should have did this from Sex and the City, a clip of anyway, oh my gosh, whatever. But as far as my connection, I didn't realize that I would go there as far as what I'm writing, but on the off chance you'd hear and be positively motivated, I will say that I'm not gonna lie that sometimes
Hmm.
I do, as I approach 40, sometimes I quite frankly feel like a failure. Sometimes. And I acknowledge that my multiple sclerosis diagnosis from my early 20s, I would reference that, but that's just an excuse. That's just an excuse. So, no. And I'll also say, yes, I'm glad. Oh, I remember to put that down there. Sometimes I wonder, as far as the multiple sclerosis diagnosis, if it protected me from things that would not have been beneficial on my journey. Like, similar to the fact that I had horrible acne all the way through college. Most people get rid of their acne in high school. I didn't get rid of acne until the end of college. And I realized in retrospect, like, that probably protected me from some things. Like, if I was, I don't want to say, anyway, that suffice it to say that probably protected me from being able to do certain things that I wanted to do and be with certain people I wanted to be with, but they didn't want to be with me, but that probably protected me from such things. And I'll also say, like Diana Ross said, she noticed it. This is an old interview I saw of her, and she was like, I noticed that when a positive thought comes into my mind, there's the way that it works is there's almost always a negative thought that goes with it. So like every time a positive thought comes in, like the negative thought's like, oh no, you don't. And it's like she said she realizes that you have to have peace with both of them, but just give more attention to the positive thoughts. So as we age, yes. Oh, finishing my 1 minute. Goodness gracious. Basic complexity. What's your topic?
Uh, um, After hearing it, I can honestly say that I do love it. I think it's good to acknowledge and accept your age. Personally, I personally, I actually look forward to hitting 40. I mean, yeah, so gotta go through 39, not even halfway there, but that's neither here nor there. Um, I think it's good to acknowledge and accept your age. Personally, I look to turning 40 at the end of the year, um, or I look forward to turning 40 at the end of the year. I already got two friends that have passed 40, and by my birthday will be 4. So with my friends, I'm kind of them just like probably nearing the younger side, which makes me kind of feel left out. But yeah, that's what I got.
All right. We get it. We get it. Your birthday doesn't come until the end of the month. So that's that. The end of
End of the
your birthday
year.
doesn't come until the last month of the year. We get it. We
Yeah.
get it. You're young. You're young and fabulous. No, I'm just being silly. But yes, absolutely. And as far as my finishing up, I'll say YouTube has been not YouTube, Instagram has been showing me a lot of videos of like older people's success stories, like throwing my age in my face, but by showing me the fact that there are a lot of people who didn't reach their entrance into great success until they were at an older age in life. So it is possible. And I noticed that one element that is consistent across all of those people is that they all always are consistently qual they they are consistently persistent. Yes. And I say let's do it, team. We can do it. Let's be have quality persistence. Yes, we can. Boom. And my one sentence is hmm. In the marching band freshman year, in response to, quote, practice makes perfect, the upperclassmen would respond with, perfect practice makes perfect. And now to that, I add, consistent perfect practice makes perfect for our 40 plus success formula. We can do it, team. Complexity, you're 1-1, my friend.
All right. 1 and 1. Well, first off, I want to say that I've seen multiple or several, whatever word, guys 40 plus that look good as hell. I'm just saying what it is. And then my, I guess, one sentence, we are all getting older. That's everybody, me, you, everyone. So just accept it. And that's that.
All right. Are you ready for the next one?
Yes.
And here it. Oh, and I need to keep remembering this. People, please share, subscribe, and share again with a friend that you care about. Thank you so much. All right, here comes B. Hashtag GoFlow at CoachNickLove201B. Screen text. If someone tells you, let's just go with the flow, just know that they about to waste your time. Yes, basic complexity.
Okay, and actually, so that. All right. At that point, I'm just getting the feeling that they really don't care. So why should I? That's what I have.
That's how you feel about go with the flow?
Kind of on some level.
Okay. All right. So I will say My initial reaction to this is facts,
Hmm.
and my personal connection to this is facts. Done. That's it. I'm done. I also have a quick one. No, I'm just kidding. But it's funny because writing this, I actually realized that the dude who I was like, we've been off and on dating since my early 30s, his early 40s. I realized that he was kind of giving me that as well. That, let's kind of go with the flow. And guess
Yeah.
what? I was wasting my time, as was anyway, whatever. But and this is my response to that. Just like in the Katy Perry song Movies, they say you know when you know. They say you know when you know.
Hmm.
So it's like it doesn't have to take a lot of time. And you don't have to waste anyone's time. And again, yes, I feel even more strongly about this now as I approach 40. Anyway, but it's a good thing. It's a blessing. Hallelujah. And I'll say another dude, before I moved here from before I moved from Baltimore to Cleveland, somebody who I dated, I was really into him. And he was a cute little short, something like 5'4", 5'5", and gorgeous. And I actually felt like I'd never, and this is part of the reason that I was so like, oh wow, it's got to be him. I had never, I've always been the one who's like, I want my man to protect me. But with him, I actually wanted to protect him. I wanted to be that guy. Like, and I remember one time we were driving and I reached to put my hand around his shoulder and he flinched. And I was like, wait, what? You flinched? And he explained that his ex husband used to beat the ish out of him. And I'm like, what? Like, that's awful. And, but all of that to say, and I get it. And see, now I'm realizing after sharing that, I probably sound ridiculous. But once we broke up, right? And then one time he hit me up with the whole, hey, big head, that thing. And I was like, oh, well, right before I moved here, and I was like, well, maybe we should try to make things work. And I asked him, I was like, so what because I interpreted it to mean that, oh, he's interested in trying in being serious this time. And I was like, so what's going on? And he's like, yeah, let's just go with the flow. And I was like, oh, okay, it's time for me to move like the SWV song to Cleveland. To go, and I was like, oh, okay, thank you. Because I was gonna stay, basic play one second. So yeah, you're 1-1.
Wow. Okay. Well, then I guess it's just my one. Um, if you're not feeling it, then just step away and stop wasting my time. And that's what I would tell them.
And
What's that?
no, I'm just okay. My 1-1. Honestly, like I was so into him before I moved here. Like he hit me up, and I was like, ooh, if he's serious about us, like giving it a good serious try, I will. It was right before I'd even signed my lease to move here. I was like, I will pull all of the stops up and just stay right where I was. But when he hit me, when he was like, yeah, well, let's just go with the flow. I was like, gone, goodbye. And he hit me up recently, and it's like also hit me up recently, and I'm like, that goes back to that when somebody hits you up with the "Hey, big Ed," that's just they're bored. He's bored, looking for something fun to do, and I'm like, I'm a whole state away. Goodbye. Anyway, anyway, but yeah, time is of the essence. So just like WizKid and Tim's sang in the song Essence, time is of the essence, and I'm not a kid anymore. So I'm not wasting time. Anyway, my one sentence is time is of the essence. Facts, dot at the end of the sentence. Now, are we ready for the next one? And you'll go first again.
Yeah.
And again, share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you. All right, and here we go for C. Hashtag FalsasEsperanzas, false hope. Cleveland.com, hashtag VersTEAv200 Screen text. Cuyahoga County jail guard fired, accused of giving her cell number to inmates and smoking vape on duty. Oh, base complexity, you're first.
All right. She was definitely doing that. I'm sure she was aware she shouldn't have been doing that. And that's where I yeah.
Okay. Well, see, I talk a lot, so we are good co-hosts because I'm gonna fill this up. But I'll say my initial reaction is the same, connected to my connection, in that yes, what she did was a very poor choice indeed. And I'll also say, as a formerly thirsty, desperate dude, I get it. I do. And, but again, it was very poor choice. And yes, yeah, I get it because, particularly with a dude in jail, it's like they'll always be where they say they'll be and when they'll be there. So it's like you don't have to worry about, like they'll always be there. So it's you, there's some trust that you can put into that. There's some consistency, and again, I get that because consistency does matter. It does. Even outside of my thirsty desperateness, consistency is important. So I get it. She's like, yeah, he's always gonna be on the yard at 3 p.m. because that's when he's scheduled to be on the yard. But you get used to that. You fall into routine, and sometimes the dudes in jail can be quite attractive. That's just I mean, because they're human and they work out a lot. They can. And maybe this is a reach for me, but I'll say, what if she was anti-gay, and maybe she felt that doing what she did with those dudes was actually a service to the community, to not have them turn gay, because they're like, I I I don't want to F a dude. I just need some V. And she was like, well, I don't want you to F a dude either. Here you go. That's really not how I wrote it down, but I'm just sort of going off a cuff. Anyway, and that speaks to the fact that not every single dude who goes to jail does gay sex. Like, that's just true. Like, people will often joke like, "Oh, you went to jail? Get prepared to have gay sex." Not everybody who goes to jail has gay sex. There are some people who stay just without sex while they're in jail. And that's a thing. And that actually all kinds of speaks to the Kinsey scale, in my opinion, because it's like everybody is somewhere in the middle to varying degrees. Some people go to jail and it's like they accept having gay sex because like that's their thing now. They're able to be free and just do what they want to do. And I wonder if the I'll finish in my one sentence. Basic complexity, your one
Uh,
sentence, one and one.
well, once again, it's just one. But everything that you fantasize about does not need to be attempted. That's pretty much it.
All right. And I will say, yeah, everybody's somewhere in the middle to varying degrees. And I wonder if it was a different world, and I'm sure this is the case. More people would be able to live their truth and accept the fact that they like men and they like women, or they like women and they like men, or both equally, or whatever, and more people would be able to live that truth. And the people going to jail and uh, some of them having gay intercourse, it's like that's an example of the fact that some people it's they're able to give in to what they had closed off anyway. But also it reminds me of this dude who offered me head years ago in my early 30s, and I was just not into him. And he was like, who doesn't want head? I mean, it's head. Like, why can't I give you some head? Like, do you want, like, he hit me up on Jacked or something. And I was like, no, thank you. And he was like, who doesn't want head? And it's like, it's not always just about wanting a hole, you know? Anyway, my one sentence is yes. As a formerly thirsty, desperate dude, I understand. But like people who do porn, unfortunately, this record may follow you for a while as well. What can you say? All right. Now, I'll go first for this one. And then after this one, we have our bonus, our live one, our one time live only bonus. But here comes topic D, and then we'll come back with our one time live only bonus. Hashtag critical reality at MSNBC, hashtag VersTEAv200 Screen text, Ta-Nehisi Coates, author and journalist.
Take, for example, this notion that students should not be exposed to anything that makes them feel uncomfortable, discomfort, or any sense of, this is my favorite, personal responsibility for anything that's ever happened in history. Anybody that's ever, studied history in any sort of serious way knows that you feel a range of emotions. And 70% of the time, those emotions are not positive, emotions that make you feel good about the world. The goal of education isn't, to tell you that, the world is sunshine and rainbows. The goal is enlightenment. The goal is some deeper understanding of humanity. And that's what, you hopefully are trying to get across to students.
Ooh. Yes. And, whoops. Time. Okay. My initial reaction is, of course, he is right. And history does generate a range of emotions. And I will say right now, the whole history thing is a hot topic. And I do believe that people don't all know why they feel the way they feel about it. But I get it because when your kid comes home from school and if they're crying about what they've learned in history and stuff like that, that can be hard. I get that. And as a parent, it's like, I don't like my kid coming home crying because of history, the facts of history. Yes, it can be hard, but I will say good parenting, from my perspective, good parenting acknowledges a child's pure heart for the fact that they're caring about the pain of others and explain that it's true. It is true. But today we can do better. And that is what makes it beautiful. Yes, because today we can do better. Yes, that's true. Yes, but today we can do better. And that should make you smile. So I get that. And I will say, my connection, I love studying history now. And yes, it does yield a range of emotions. And I will say, non curated history is exquisite and will indeed produce a range of emotions. But it's good for us to be in touch with our emotions. Wow. Um, yeah. My one sentence, I'm not going to go into it, but it's good for us to be in touch with our emotions. That is not a bad thing. You know, and children need to learn that. I'm really just prefacing my one sentence. Basic complexity, you can take it away.
All right. Always find it interesting how people attempt to paint a very rosy picture um of the country's past, because trust me, it was not great. Um, I personally feel that I want to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, don't hold anything back from me. Um, yeah, about history. And that is how you keep it from repeating itself. Like, let it be known what it was. So people won't want to do that again or try their best to make sure it don't happen again. Um, and also, if someone catches feelings over that, then I really don't know what to tell them. And that's what I have.
Yeah, and that can be the difficulty though when the kid comes home. But that's why it's important to just be honest with your kids. And I'm sure by far we are not the only country with a troubled past. Like there have been troubles around the world from the dawn of time, you know? So let's just be real. Let's be real and just be honest about the point of history is not sharing what we want to share about it. The point of history is to, like you said, learn where we've been so we can have a better idea to not make those same mistakes again going forward. Okay? So, yes. And my one sentence is We want our kids to be in touch with all of their emotions. So we stop creating these emotionless, murderous, jail-bound psychopaths. That at the end of the sentence. And I'll say it one more time. We want our kids to be in touch with all of their emotions. So we stop creating these emotionless, murderous, jail-bound psychopaths. That at the end of the sentence. Because that's what happens when you don't allow kids to learn how to get in touch with their emotions. Basic complexity, you go one and one.
Okay. Then, well, might even be combined together because it's not very lengthy, but a little lengthy. Um, if you are really catching feelings over what happened way before you were even thought of, then maybe history is not your thing. Like I said, it's definitely not for everybody. But yeah, you gotta acknowledge all of it. Don't just show me the rosy good stuff. I want to see the bad or hear about the bad. And that's what I have.
Yeah, history is not just a practice in just learning fake made up things. Like that's not the point of history. History is to be history, actual history, okay? Or herstory, which is so silly when people do that because technically, history is what history is, and we should always be honest about whatever it is.
Mhm.
Fully, history, history and herstory should be one. We should be honest about it all. Anyway, oh my gosh, I'm about to get going on another topic. So, are you ready for our, well, hashtag VersTEAv200 family? This has been week 201. Again, I'm Aaron Mack here with my good friend Kevin, aka CBC, Basic Complexity. Kids used to have so many different letters that it'd be AKA, CBC, BKA, and all sorts of stuff. But whatever, whatever.
What
Uh,
does CVC mean?
can be called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I know AKA,
Yep.
also known as.
Mhm. Are you gonna ask what's BKA?
All right, how about I so didn't even hear that, but now I'm curious.
Better
Better
known
known
as.
as.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. You know, that's another story for another time. We're running over. So I will say that Aaron Mack, you can find me on Aaron Mack, AARON, MCK at VersTEAV.com. And you can find Verse TV all over social media. Hashtag VersTEAV. And you can find us on our website, VersTV.com. Basic complexity, where are the places? I think you named two, three, where they can find you. The three places that you usually name.
The three at usually name. Why do I forget this every week? But definitely on VersTEAv200 and that's all right. Just spell out the name and it's the same everywhere. It's capital BASIC, capital COMPLEXITY. And well, primarily that's on VersTEAv200. It's also the same name on what's that? TikTok,
Instagram.
Instagram. Thank you. And then with TikTok, it's the same name I spelled out, but at the very beginning, you put capital MY. So my basic complexity, and yeah, I had to use that as a screen name. Apparently, someone that already used my screen name. So that's what I have.
All right, friends. We will talk to you later, social media family. Peace. Um, hmm. Just speak like that. Peace. VersTEAv200. Can you do the honors? Peace.
Well,
VersTEAv200. Stay blessed. Have a good day, everyone. We'll see you next time.